What's going on, guys? It's been a while. As you can see, we are back at it, man. Nothing's going to stop this train. The spins are back. The clap's back. Now, I don't know about the thigh. I see the comment section. Look, guys, you guys got to be honest with me. Expecting me to slap my thigh every time I make a video is a little crazy. But anyway, we're going to talk about Undead Labs. State of Decay 3. If you guys have been following me for a while, you know I'm a huge fan of this franchise. I have been following them since the original State of Decay. I love the concept. Feel like the execution State of Decay 2 could have been better. But when they were bought by Xbox, I was sitting there looking at, thinking we might actually see a substantial increase in the way the development is. We've seen some of these studios get new entire buildings. We've seen them expand to like mocap. There's like a lot of different stuff that goes into it. So I was just curious on what does that leave when it comes to the State of Decay. Keep in mind, we haven't seen this game in years. State of Decay 3 was announced in like 2019 or something like that, or 2020. And we haven't seen this game since. You can make an argument that this game should not... We should see gameplay at this point. We haven't seen gameplay. We haven't seen a release date, a release window. We haven't seen nothing. But because of LinkedIn, we actually see a little bit more. Individual, he updated his profile on LinkedIn, and he said that the coalition... Well, they obviously, if you work in the coalition... If you work Mojang Studios, you're going to put on there what have you been working on. And there's individuals that work for the Coalition and Mojang and more that's actually working on State of Decay 3. They're collabing with Undead Labs, helping them make the game, which is interesting because, this isn't out of the norm. There's a lot of studios that help get Halo Infinite past the finish line. But generally when you see stuff like this, the Coalition... Mojang, there's a couple more studios most likely helping, is because they're trying to push it past that finish state. They're trying to get it out sooner rather than later. Because if they got a little bit more time, then they wouldn't need the extra help. So I'm kind of curious on what does it mean if multiple studios are helping to this collab. The Coalition, Mojang. I'm kind of curious what other studios. I'm sure they got contractors helping them. We see this, like I said, a lot of the times. But to me, they always do this when they're getting closer to the finish line. I wouldn't be surprised if State of Decay 3 comes out next year. I don't think it's a 2024 release date. I do think that that's probably a 2025. But the fact they have multiple studios working on this title does make me think this game is going to come out sooner rather than later. A lot of people think 2026, and it could be very well. I would definitely not, dismiss someone saying this game's going to come out in 2026. But maybe this game's sooner than we thought. Maybe the development had a couple hiccups, but, they're able to pick up. Maybe they downsized the scale of the overall game. That would be very interesting. We got an announcement for this game years ago, and I think that really screams that Microsoft needs to do a better job at not announcing something this early, especially something like State of Decay 3. I didn't feel like the envelope was being pushed for you to have this game out there this soon. So I don't think you really had to come out there and show this game. I do think State of Decay 3 is going to be a vastly upgrade from State of Decay 2. You're working with new hardware. You're working with newer technology. They're better funded than they was in State of Decay 2. There's a lot of hiccups that happen with State of Decay 2. So I'm mighty curious on exactly what kind of scale we're going to get for State of Decay 3. Undead Labs, I believe, could be that zombie type of game. Undead Labs can make those, interactive zombie games. I think if they're able to hit out State of Decay 3 correctly, maybe go over there and talk to, I think Capcom. I think they're the ones that own, or Bandai Namco. Someone owns Dead Rising. I don't know who it is. But, talk to them. Try to get that franchise. If Undead Labs specializes in making zombie-style games, there are other ways to monetize that genre than what is going on currently. I will say that zombie type of games aren't as popular as they used to be, but I would say people still enjoy shooting a zombie or two. So that's why Undead Labs need to really focus on, State of Decay 3, make sure that the survival aspects is up there. I want State of Decay 3 should feel like a game in the Walking Dead universe where you got to scavenge for resources, you got to build a community. I feel like State of Decay 2 did good jobs going in that direction, but they didn't really flesh out any of those parts. They just put them in the game. Flesh those out, make it a good co-op experience, make it a good story. I feel like State of Decay 3 could be a solid experience for a lot of people. A lot of people didn't like State of Decay 2. From it not really having a story to the game coming out because it was always online, or the co-op feature of it for that matter, because that's what people really expected to play on this was the co-op feature, because the original one didn't have a co-op, and where the network was so buggy you didn't really have a good experience. It's like I said, not having a story really put this game in a bad light to a lot of people. And I'm rooting for Undead Labs. I have all the faith in the world that they can make State of Decay 3 an enjoyable experience for everyone. Even if you have to downscale the game and just focus on the core experience and build that up. I'm with that. I never look at something like State of Decay 3 expecting a AAA feel. I'm okay with a AA feel with State of Decay. Just make it fun and flesh out the features from State of Decay 2. Give it a good story, man. Hopefully with Coalition of Mojang and other studios working on this game, we will see more of it maybe at E3 this year or whatever that June showcase you guys want to call it these days. But anyway, glad to be back. Sorry about last week. I went to New York for the New York Video Game Awards. IOP presented an award. Yeah, it was a good time, man. It was a good time. Didn't make a whole lot of content last week, but we right back in there, man, with the face cam and everything. So put in the comment section below what you guys feel about State of Decay 3. Very curious your guys' opinion on that. I'll definitely be reading up on this. And until next time, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. It's always appreciated. You can always sub to the channel for weekly content. Go over there and follow me on Twitter at Lord Addict ILP. And I stream on Addict Arena. Today we're going to be streaming Power Worlds. But appreciate all the support. And until next time, this is Gaming Addict. I'm out of here. Peace.